Hello and welcome back to The Movies Made Us Do It. Me and Matt are back. How are you, Matt?
I am pretty good, sir. How are you?
I'm well.
Oh, and
Uh,
Merry Christmas.
okay, yeah. Merry Christmas. Sorry, Merry God, sounded rude. I was like, well, surely we're doing.
Fuck you, bar humbug.
Fuck you. But no, I was thinking like we got a Christmas movie to do next week, so I was like, maybe we'd do Merry Christmas next week. Unless we're not doing a Christmas movie
well,
next week, in
well,
which case.
every one of my reviews is a Christmas movie this week, so
That's true. Matt has gone festive as fuck this week. I have not. So, bah humbug. Because I don't watch a single Christmas movie. Although, I have watched movies, but just movies I've already seen. Nothing new.
yeah,
But
no,
this is a tradition for you every year.
it is. I try
There
and
is
cram
the inevitable episode where Matt reviews all the Christmas movies, and I love it because we love Christmas movies. We've discussed this before. There's a
yeah,
separate scale of quality for
yeah,
Christmas movies. They're a different
hmm
scale because they're all mostly shit.
yes,
But it's fine and accepted, and that's part of the charm.
yeah.
We're not talking about Home Alone or Gremlins or whatever. We're talking
Oh no,
about
no,
the Hallmark movie, the
yeah,
Hallmark Christmas movie, and derivatives of.
yeah.
That's what we're talking about, and they're wonderful. My favorite is still the one with Melissa Joan Hart when she kidnaps a guy with a flintlock
With
pistol.
Flintlock.
That
I still haven't seen that. I've got to see that one.
oh my god. Anyway, if I can indulge you for a moment, I would like to talk about a movie, an old movie that I only saw this weekend that I think
Okay,
you will have seen, and I'm just going to briefly touch on it because I loved it.
okay,
So this is not a full review or anything, but I my friend and me have been watching movies together recently all the time, and we just suddenly had this moment where I was watching a western, she was watching a western, and we were like, we should have a day of watching westerns. So on Saturday,
okay.
I went to her house and I watched her favorite western of all time. I'd never seen it before in my life, and I loved it. My Name Is Nobody. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah,
It is hilarious. I really really enjoyed this movie. Terrence Hill, Henry Fonda, great cast, and just one of those movies that I think I mean there are a lot of western comedies, obviously,
yeah,
but not as many as I would like. I think, and this one hit the right balance for me of like humor, and it was also quite touching in places, and you know what I mean. It kind of had a message. It wasn't
yeah,
it wasn't just silly for the sake of being silly. Had a nice story, wonderful score as you would expect.
yeah.
But yeah, I just thought I wanted to shout it out because I you know it's a western I hadn't seen, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, Terrence Hill was in a bloody load of
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and
really
Henry
fucking
Fonda
good
was in it too,
westerns.
so yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, that's a really good one. I don't remember the last time I saw it. Probably about 20 years ago. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I remember liking it when I saw it.
I
Yeah,
loved it. I thought it was real fun. Yeah, I just loved the way it all kind of came together.
that, that's a Ser- it's a Sergio Leone one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
He-
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he wrote it at least. I think.
yeah. He kind of follows this young gunman who like hero worships over this famed gunfighter.
Yeah,
And he basically wants to give him like he wants to make him even more of a legend than he already is. So he's like, you need to face down like 100. There's like it's the Wild Bunch, isn't it? It's the Wild Bunch,
yeah,
and he's like, there's
yeah, yeah.
150 of them. You could gun them all down and then retire, and your name will be everywhere. You'll be like the most famous gunfighter of all time, and it's kind of his journey to make that happen, whether the gunfighter wants it or not. Um, it's really fun. It was really
Yeah.
fun, and had some nice things about kind of age and youth. It was good. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
it. Really, really
it's one of
enjoyed it.
those ones that sort of kind of gets overlooked by all the other sort
Well,
of
I've overlooked it
slightly,
until
slightly more
now.
serious cowboy, movies. I guess is how you put it is.
Yeah, it was nice because we watched that and then we watched Fistful of Dollars afterwards, and it was interesting kind of seeing the higher quality of Fistful of Dollars, and it was
Yeah.
cool. It was really cool. But anyway, I just wanted to shout that out. Matt.
Yeah, it's the Trinity ones. That's the one that's yeah, that I remember the most from him. From
Yes. Yeah. Uh, well, kick us off with a Christmas movie, Matt.
Okay,
Do it.
so I will start with. Well, I might as well go with the order I watched them in. So I watched first A Merry Little Xmas.
Which is my favorite, based purely on the pun.
Yes,
I
it
appreciated the pun. I was
is.
like, that's a good pun.
So it's Alicia Silverstone, Oliver Hudson, and uh, Melissa Joan Hart, who doesn't appear in this enough, but
Does
she's in
she
it.
have
So
is she wielding a flintlock pistol?
she's not wielding a flintlock
That's a
pistol.
shame.
She's kind of the thirsty aunt in this, or the thirsty friend.
Okay, fair enough.
The thirsty friend who you don't see enough of her, sadly. But it's also got Jamila Jamal in it as well, which is, you know,
I
very. She varies. Sometimes she can be very annoying. Sometimes she can be quite funny. So
sure.
I quite
I like
liked her.
Alicia Silverstone though.
Yeah,
She's
at least Simmons is good. However, so
good.
let's go. So basically, she lives in this little sort of mid town where, you know, everybody knows each other, everybody loves each other. It's all nicey, and she's married to Oliver Hudson's Everett. Um, she is Kate, and they have a sort of this perfect um, relationship, or seemingly. They've got a son and a daughter, um, and she was going to be this sort of architect, and she was going to design wonderful buildings and be all this, you know, go out and do this. But she met him, and he's a doctor. He was becoming a doctor, so she gave up her dream of becoming an architect, and she married him, and they moved to this place. And that's my main bone of contention with this movie, is that she's constantly moaning about how awful her life is
Mm,
when she has a great husband, great kids,
sure.
people that love her, a massive house, which admittedly has its faults, but it's a massive house. She basically became a handy person, and she sort of fixes stuff and
I I
all
would
that sort of stuff.
I would say
Yes.
this is something of a staple for Christmas movies as well. The Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
They're like bemoaning how terrible their lives are when their lives are actually pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does
Is it- There's,
happen.
there's a big difference between this and one of the next movie,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Sure.
you know, so basically they at the beginning of the movie they've decided that, you know, they've sort of drifted apart. They don't sort of speak to each other as much as they used to and stuff. So even though they love each other, they're gonna use that horrible word that, well, words that has become for divorce now. It's they're gonna consciously uncouple.
What?
The consciously uncouple. Did you know? Have you not heard
I've
that?
never
Oh,
heard of this.
really? That was how oh god, the lead singer of bloody that awful band with the whiny singer.
That does not narrow that down at all.
I really hate them. They sang Yellow.
That does also not narrow it down at
Coldplay.
all. Oh,
Coldplay.
Coldplay. Okay.
The lead singer of Coldplay and the actress that he was married to.
What is it? Emotionally uncoupled.
Consciously uncoupled.
Consciously uncoupled. I have never heard that in my life.
Yes, that's how they put it in their divorce.
Okay.
So
Good for them.
what's her name? She played Pepper Potts.
Uh,
God, talk about old man brain, Jesus.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
That's the one. So those, when they got divorced, that's how they put it. They consciously uncoupled. So
Okay.
that's how they put it in this thing, and you know, all the people around them, like their, you know, their parents and their friends are all like, sure, this is going to be like really good, and
This is going to be
amicable and all that
great.
sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So now Christmas is coming, and she's planning all her usual things, and she's one of those sort of like eco-friendly people. So she's got solar panels on all over the house, and you know, they make a point about it near the beginning about, hey, you've got all this power in your stored in your basement. Like, why would you want to do that? And you think, well, that's going to come in handy later on then when
Yeah, yeah.
the power goes
Because
in the neighborhood.
this is a Christmas movie and snow's
Yes,
going to happen.
exactly.
Yeah.
So of course you know, the the kids come home from wherever they've been. Like, I think one of them's been in England in sort of Cambridge or some Oxford or something. She's brought home a new boyfriend who works at the Harry Potter store or something, and he's literally walking around with a wand and glasses, and he's one of the most obnoxious, annoying characters I've ever seen in a Christmas movie. He's awful.
Right.
He just everything he says is a reference to Harry Potter, and it's like, oh, this is fucking excruciating.
I mean, I like
So
Harry Potter, but yeah, okay.
I love Harry Potter. Don't get me wrong,
But there's not people quoting
but
it all day. Yeah.
people quoting it all the time and being weird about it. No.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I get you. Yeah.
So there's the son wants to be a fireman.
Okay.
But the mother is like, no, you're not being a fireman. You're going to college. You're going to be blah blah blah. You're going to do all this. So there's that, and of course at their dinner table while they're having they accidentally let slip that Everett has found a new girlfriend, Jamila Jamal, and she's upset about this because he hasn't told her he didn't tell her himself, and from there you get all the sort of usual things of, oh, won't they get back together, and there's a new guy that she meets who's like seems to have a job doing everything. He like drives the snow plow, he works in the tree shop, he works as a stripper, he works, he's that dude, so he's
Sure.
he's annoying but kind of cool in his own way, and of course he's younger than her, so they kind of sort of get together, and there's that sort of they're trying to make each other jealous, all that sort of stuff, right? The main problem with this movie is Alicia Silverstone and Oliver Hudson have no bloody chemistry.
Oh, that's kind of key.
I don't believe for a minute
It's pretty key.
Yeah, I don't believe for a minute that they were this in love couple. That for me,
What was
like,
that fucking movie we watched last year?
Which one?
The one when they go on holiday, and oh god, wasn't it like so they go on holiday and they're what the hell was it? It was like Seth Rogen or someone. What the hell was that movie?
Oh no, you mean the one with Reese Witherspoon?
Yes.
Oh, I can't remember what it was called now, but yes, yeah. Well, there were Will bloody Ferrell and
Will. I knew it was someone annoying. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of who it was.
Yeah, it was Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was bloody awful.
So
and
that had like similar chemistry issues.
Yeah, but that again, it's the same sort of thing. It's like that movie's like we're constantly trying to get these people as a couple, and
it's like it's not working.
No,
you're like it's just not.
These people should not be together. They are not.
No,
they should never be a couple. And this kind of felt like that. It's like no, they're not.
I think you can get away with. Well, you can't. It's bad, obviously, to not have chemistry between your two leads and whatnot. But you can get away with it if it's if the film isn't if the relationship isn't central to the plot. It's like okay, doesn't that it's a bit clunky, but fine. This is a movie. It's a Christmas movie. It's all about this relationship, presumably, right? I mean, that's the central focus of your movie. If there's no chemistry, you've cast badly. I'm sorry.
No, and it just sort of, and also it just feels so sort of like I'm sure she, she had her dream. She didn't get her dream, but to be fair, she lives in this massive house. She's got wonderful friends, and she keeps saying, "Oh, I want to get out of this terrible town." It's like, why is this town terrible? Like, I've lived in a small village. It was awful because everybody knows your business and like, but they were never like, the nicest friendly people. They were just people that knew everything about you all the time.
Sure.
This is not that. This is like, if you run out of something, they'll come running. If you need help with something, everybody in the town puts that stuff and comes to you.
They sound lovely.
Exactly. It's and her kids are wonderful, and obviously there's that conflict of mum wants you to be a whatever, go to college and be whatever it is, but the son wants to be, no, I want to be a fireman. And you just think, is being a fireman that bad, really?
It's a pretty important job.
I mean, sure, it's dangerous, and but it's a fucking awesome job. Why wouldn't you want your child to be?
Yeah.
Why would you not want? Why would you want to?
I mean, it would make more sense if she was like, I don't want you to be a fireman because of the danger.
Yeah, well, she is. I mean,
But to
yes,
suggest
she
that
kind
it's
of
like
is. But
a not a career and you should,
yeah,
it's like no, it is a massive career.
hmm
Um and it's something we desperately need. Firemen are incredible.
yeah. So yeah, basically, obviously, it's the usual thing that they're slowly getting back together. They realize they miss each other and all that sort of stuff. So you get that, over the course of the movie. Um, this is bad.
Okay.
Even being the most generous that I usually am with Christmas movies,
Mm.
this just felt dull, and you know, there was no chemistry. Her character is kind of obnoxious and sort of, oh god, can you just stop moaning about how bad your fucking life is? Because your life is not bad at all. You have a wonderful life. It's
Mm.
you, you know going. She's this idea of, I'm going to go back to New York and I'm going to go retrain as a architect. You think that's gonna suck. Really, you're gonna go to back to New York or whatever it is, and you're gonna, all the horrors of that place and all the like, with no one there that you like
and
know
and
anymore,
spend
and
all of your money back in university
exactly,
or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So it's just that, and the fact that most of the characters in it are kind of annoying, and
Mm.
there's not enough Melissa Joan Hart for my for my tastes.
Yeah.
Um, it's just bad. I can't recommend this one. I would I would say give this one a miss, even as much as it hurts, because I do love Alicia Silverstone, and I think normally I would have said she would do a pretty good job, but this is just bad. I really
Okay.
hate. No, I didn't. I won't say I hated it. I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't. It's just not a good Christmas movie. It just didn't have all the good feels enough, and
It's
it was
key. It's key. It's
yeah.
what we
It was
need.
just
The cheesy feels is what we need.
and Oliver Hudson, he's been in a few sort of things that I've quite liked him in. He usually plays dickheads. I must say he was in oh, what was that? Nashville. He was in Nashville, and he was a real asshole in Nashville. He was
Oh,
like
okay.
he was a really cool character, but a complete asshole. So he's been in some really cool things that I've quite liked. But they had no chemistry, and it just didn't work for me. So this one's a pass.
Fair enough. I will pass this one. Um, do you want me to be positive or negative? I give you a choice.
Ooh.
Give you a choice. Which way
I
do we
favour it.
continue down the rabbit hole of negativity, or do we get
Let's
positive
well
for
let
a minute?
go for the negative.
All
Or shall
right.
we sweeten it? No, go good, and
Go good.
yeah, go
All
good.
right. So I watched Deathstalker.
Hooray!
Hooray! I finally saw the remake of Deathstalker, a movie that I have been looking forward to watching since I saw the trailer, because I had no idea that this
No,
was happening. But I was, yeah, super excited. Same people that did Psycho Gorman,
mm,
The Void, movies I thoroughly enjoy. And everything about this trailer screamed that Psycho Gorman like quality.
yeah, all the
The
practical
silly
math and
practical stuff, yeah.
yeah,
Which they did, obviously, with the they did the original remake of The Thing. Apparently, they did an amazing job with the special effects before some team come in and CGI'd the fuck out of it and
but
ruined it.
yeah, yeah.
Not that it would have been a good movie with that, but at
You know
least
what? I have still not seen that
it's
movie.
rubbish. But
I've kind of avoided it on purpose, but
of course they went on from there to make The Void, which I think is a wonderful movie.
The Void yeah. Well, I think of the movies they've done, The Void is probably my favorite.
It's probably mine as well. But I loved Psycho Gorman. It was hilarious. Rewatched that recently in the run up to Deathstalker coming out. I enjoy the original Deathstalker for what it is. We've talked a lot about, you know, sword and sorcery movies of the 80s and
Mm-hmm.
the
It's got
varying.
some seriously ropey stuff in it that you go, oh dear.
Did you say ropey or rapey? Because either
Well,
works.
both.
Okay, yeah.
I said ropey, but
Yeah,
yes.
okay, I thought that's what you said, but it could have gone either way. So this movie, thankfully, does away with the rapey.
Yeah, I would have thought it probably would.
So yeah, so we're introduced to Deathstalker. He is, he's a former knight, and it was a great opening scene on the battlefield. There's these, soldiers lying dead and dying all over the battlefield. This huge battle's just taken place, and this guy's, on his back, his final breaths. It looks like this deadite or whatever is about to kill him, and Deathstalker saves the day. And this guy's like super impressed at seeing this muscular, former knight take out these guys, and he thinks he's gonna go help him, and Deathstalker just comes up and holds his hand. He's like holding his hand, and the guy's like, "Oh, help me, help me!" And then he just starts taking off his jewelry and just starts robbing him. And I was like, "That's so much better. That's
Yeah.
so much better. That's all I needed." He's a bit of a dickhead, and we're on this journey, but he's not irredeemably horrible like Deathstalker was in the original movie, where he seems like he just wants to sexually assault someone. That's not how to introduce a hero.
No.
That's a bad. So here we're introduced to Deathstalker. He's a thief, former knight, has a reputation for being like the greatest swordsman. I think someone says he's a surgeon with a sword and whatnot. But he finds this amulet on the dying knight, and the dying knight says it must be returned, but he doesn't listen and steals it. So at the bar, this two-headed troll bursts through the door, and they have a fight, and obviously Deathstalker dispatches him. But from there, it turns out he is being chased for the amulet. He then heads off on this quest because he tries to get rid of the amulet. He tries throwing it away, and it keeps reappearing in his pocket no matter how many times he throws it away. And it basically, sorry,
cursed magical objects.
Well, exactly, cursed magical objects. Indeed, he it's bound to him until he dies, is what he's told. But along the way, he meets Doodad. Played by Patton Oswalt, who did the voice anyway. I think Laurie Field was the physical actor of Doodad, who's this little imp thing who is helping him along the way. He's a wizard, and it kind of goes from there. But this movie, as you would expect from these guys, it's all the practical, and it's clearly done. It like the tone is spot on. The same as Psycho Gorman. You watch Psycho Gorman and you're like, this looks rubbish intentionally. And like everything about Psycho Gorman is intentional.
Yeah.
This one, I think, even more so. Purely because with Psycho Gorman, I love Psycho Gorman, right? But the occasions where they use the CGI blood is awful, and it looks terrible, and not in a funny way. It just looks bad.
I'm sure one day they'll get really good CG blood, but
well, they may have done some here, but for the most part, it seems practical, and it looks a lot better for it. This looks consistently good, like it's a consistent vision the whole way through. This movie just took me back to 80s sword and sorcery movies. With a really fun, simple, basic premise, fun characters, and a lot of humor. Which I think, if you're going to do a throwback like this, I think a bit of comedy helps.
Yeah, as long as it didn't make it too goofy.
It's not too goofy. Like, he's serious when he needs to be. But he has a good sense of humor about him as a character, Like a lot of what he says is funny, and a lot of the way he acts towards enemies and things is funny. But I loved this movie, man. It's certainly not going to be for everyone, obviously.
Yeah.
I think if you watch the trailer, that will tell you whether you're going to like this movie or not.
Yeah.
It's one of those times, I think, if you saw the trailer and you're like, that looks awful, don't watch this movie, because that's exactly what you're going to get.
I love that in Daniel Bernhardt, who plays Deathstalker. If you look at some of the pictures on the
Mm.
thing, he looks like a much buffer version of Iggy Pop.
He really does have Iggy Pop's face.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he's got sort of a slightly more buff Iggy Pop. I mean, but Iggy Pop was pretty buff, but
Yeah, he was pretty in pretty good shape. But no, he looks great in this movie. He's actually very good with some of the. I don't know whether they had a stunt double or whatever, but some of the
he
sword
is
stuff is very
he is
good.
a stunt dude.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah,
I always remember in Highlander Endgame, the dreadful Highlander TV series slash Highlander movies crossover where they brought Connor McLeod to meet Duncan McLeod,
yeah,
and they have a fight in the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, um,
yeah,
and it's fucking painful to watch because because on the one hand, you've got Duncan who
yeah.
is played by someone who actually can wield a sword and is a martial artist.
Adrian Paul, isn't it?
Adrian Paul, who is actually quite an accomplished martial artist. And on the
Yeah,
other hand, you've got Connor McLeod, played by the practically blind Christopher Lambert, who, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Here, you've got a guy who absolutely knows how to use a sword. The fight scenes look great, I think. The practical blood and guts are brilliant and hilarious. The monsters look silly, but in that perfect 80s way.
yeah.
And like I said, it's got a really nice sense of humor to it. I think if you enjoyed Psycho
It's
Gorman, you'd probably
it
enjoy
feels like
this.
it's got that sort of screaming Mad George feel about it,
Yes,
doesn't it? It's got
it does. It does. Absolutely, it does.
you know, like uh, Guyver and stuff like that. It's got that
Yes,
sort of
it's
cool,
very
but
much.
slightly goofy looking creatures. You know.
Yeah. It's got that Guyver dark hero ness about it.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I loved this one. I thought it was great fun. I think they did, like as I said, a far better job with the character of Deathstalker.
yeah,
Because I enjoyed Deathstalker the movie, but that opening is rough,
yeah, yeah,
rough.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, to be fair, it was probably more realistic.
well, probably, but
You
it's
know,
like, come
I
on,
mean, there are plenty of books, fantasy books I've read that have main characters that are awful
yes,
people.
are awful people. But the thing is, I think in a protagonist, I'm
Yeah,
happy for them to be awful, but there's a line, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Um,
That, yeah,
like being a thief, I'm like, yeah, cool, I can get
hmm
behind that. That's fine,
yeah.
you know. So yeah, I highly recommend Deathstalker. I've been looking forward to this movie for months now. I was waiting for it
It,
to finally turn up.
it is on my list of movies to watch.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what you think of it, but I think you'll love it. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. So it's a definite recommend from me. What else have you
Cool.
watched, Matt?
So I have also seen My Secret Santa.
Wow, that was the one I was highlighting as well. That's good.
So in this one, we are introduced to Taylor, played
Mm.
by Alexandra Breckenridge, who is a single mum, uh, struggling to pay bills and get things done. She basically gets fired in the beginning of the movie, so she's desperate to get a new job. Her daughter has just basically um, finished school, and she's been accepted in I forget which college, some college, but it's like ridiculous amounts of money that obviously she can't afford.
Mm.
So she goes to get a job, tries to get this job at this. So the town that they live in this one it's basically it's a ski town. So it's a big old, mostly ski resort that is full of holiday makers, all and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Now the resort is owned by this um what's his name? I don't remember what the old guy's name was. Robert, maybe? I don't remember. Anyway, it's owned by this rich dude, and he's got hotels all over the world, and they're very rich. And he has a son, played by Ryan Eggold,
Mm.
um, who some people would know from New Amsterdam and what was that bloody thing with the Blacklist? The Blacklist.
Hmm.
I fucking hated his character in the Blacklist. He was an absolute prick. But that's
That was intentional, though, presumably.
ask my wife, however, has a different opinion on that character. But anyway, he's this son of the guy who owns all this thing, and he's just come back from Italy where he got into trouble and you know with his drunken antics and all that sort of stuff, which you do sort of think, isn't he like 40 or something? Shouldn't he be over that sort of phase by now?
Well,
But
you'd be surprised.
maybe, yes, I realistically no, but for the purpose of this movie, it's a bit sort of like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. Anyway, he comes home. His dad's like, you need to have some responsibility. I'm putting you in charge of this hotel for so you can prove to me that you're worth something and you can do something, which pisses off the current hotel sort of manager or manager in waiting, who has been working ridiculously hard to get. She's played by TMMUDI,
Hmm.
who is she's been working hard for this job, and she's just been passed over by the son, who's a dickhead. So, meanwhile, Taylor goes for a job at this place, and of course they're not hiring. There's, she's like, oh, just keep my thing on file and all that sort of stuff. And then as she's leaving the hotel, she overhears Natasha talking to this employee saying, "Put this out. We need a Santa for our grotto sort of thing. Every the latest one's gone or something or other. So, but they need a new Santa.
Hulk Hogan's dead now, so we need a new one. Yeah.
Yeah. So she, overhearing this, goes to her brother, who
Okay.
her brother works in horror movies, and there's some really cool horror movie props in his house.
Excellent.
He works in horror movies, and he works on makeup and creature effects. And she basically says to him, "Hey, can you make me Santa?" And,
I'm
and
sold.
it's at this,
I'm sold on this already.
this is the thing. It's at this point of the movie where you go,
Yes.
yes or no.
I go
For me,
yes.
it was a fucking hell yes.
This sounds like this is exactly the kind of nonsense I want for my Christmas movie.
Exactly. This is they're going full on Mrs. Doubtfire here.
Yeah.
I am totally up for it. So they make a suit for her full of, I think it's like lentils or something, or whatever.
Right.
They make a suit for her to get into. They put on cheek prosthetics, and she looks pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, she looks good in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The makeup's is pretty good. The voice she puts on, I'm not sure would fool anyone really, but for the purpose of the movie, sure, okay.
Yeah.
So she gets the job, obviously, through all this. So she gets the job, and of course, meanwhile, like they have this meet cute where I think actually before she goes for the job actually, but they have this meet cute at the records store. So she is selling off her collection of records to earn some money to pay the rent, because her landlady is already knocked on her door and said, "Hey, it's the end of the month. Not seen any money yet." And she's like, "Okay, you'll get your money," sort of thing. So she's gone to the.
I'm assuming that all of this prosthetic work is being done for free, because otherwise she's not gonna make any money from this thing.
It's her brother, so you presume that
you assume it's free. Because I was gonna say that's gonna end up costing you more than you're gonna get paid as Santa.
The stuff that he makes for her, you just think, that is going to cost a fucking fortune. There's no way. No. It's
okay. He's doing it for fun. Fair enough. Yeah.
Him and his husband or boyfriend, they make it up for her, and
sure,
they're great. By the way, the brother is quite funny. They're not in it very much, but they're quite funny. So yeah, they have this. So she's at the record store selling off her records, and the guy, the owner's like going, oh yeah, I'll give you this much for it, and there's a record there that she takes. I forget what the name of the band is, something like Screaming Kittens or something. I think the name of the band is, and the Matthew guy sees it and says like, hey, that's the Screaming Kittens. They were a great band. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Hey, you look like the lead singer of the Screaming Kittens. Are you the lead singer of the Screaming Kittens? Of course, she's the lead singer of the Screaming Kittens. Um, but of course, she, pregnant, had to give up her dreams of being. You see a theme here. Give up her dreams of being a rock star and become a mum, and However, see now the difference between these two movies. Alicia Silverstone's character, she gave up her dream, but she lives in a
A
mansion and
mansion.
has
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful places. This woman gave up her dreams, lives in a shithole apartment, and can't afford anything, can barely afford food, let alone, you know, whatever. So already, for me, plus points already.
Yeah.
Plus, they have better chemistry. You actually believe that these two could fancy each other and would make an adorable couple.
Excellent.
So of course he says, hey, this band were great, and that record collection's worth more than that. And the guy's like, fine, I'll give you $150 for it, sort of thing. So they're going out, and she's like, wants nothing to do with it. She just wants to get out. So she tries to get out. He comes and says, hey, do you want to go for coffee? No, blah blah. And she's like, no, I don't really. I just want to go home, sort of thing. So of course you get the gist. They end up, they're going to get together. She finds out that he's this rich dude, and even though she's not interested in that in for the rich stuff, you know, he's sweet and lovely, and he likes her music, and he does pull something that you just think, dude, no. They go to a bar, doing like, there's like a live band, and he's arranged for them to play with her, and she's like, hey, come up on, we've got the lead singer of this band, come up on stage and do this. And you're like, dude, what the fuck? You've just completely hijacked this poor woman. And she's like, obviously she's pissed off because she didn't want to get back on stage and do this thing. But obviously you can see this is where this is going. So meanwhile, you get all the sort of usual shenanigans of her being Santa, and um, initially she's rubbish at it because the kids are coming up and going, "Hey Santa, I want." I can't think of what it was, but something like, "I want this amazing thing," and it's like, "Hey, your mum looks like she couldn't afford this thing. Wouldn't you like a nice ball or something?" So
She's trying to help
she's
mum out, but she's just
yeah,
making it worse. Yeah, yeah.
she's being a good mum and not being a very good Santa, and she's like, "Hey, you should really just ask for something nice from
No,
that's
Santa
affordable."
needs to overpromise and get the kid moving.
Exactly. So of course, initially this doesn't go very well. The Natasha character, who should be the manager, is she's kind of on bad guy duty, but it's understandable that she's being a bit of a bitch because she's been passed over. She's worked hard, and she has a daughter.
Mm.
Um, partial, you know, Taylor partially gets this job as well. Not only does she need a job, but she partially gets it so that her daughter can have ski lessons there. So she's having ski lessons there, and Natasha's daughter is a bully who's bullying her daughter.
Right.
So you've got all that going on as well, and it's a nice Christmas movie. So the bullying is not as bad as that, and it turns out she's only being a bully because her mum, you know, she doesn't see her dad, and her mum's always busy and all that sort of stuff. So you get all those sorts of, the usual heartwarming sort of stuff. Um, and you get the sort of whole, hey, um, there's a gala coming up at the hotel. Why don't I can introduce you to my dad and stuff. Oh, but also the Santa Claus guy's got to be there as well, so you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
meet
We got our
the Santa
Mrs.
Claus guy.
Doubtfire meal scene now.
No,
We've got to that
exactly.
point of
Yeah.
the
So
movie.
you've got the her brother and
It sounds
his
like a lot of fun.
yeah, the brother and the husband, his husband are in the toilets with a stool set up with
Yeah.
all the things, and it's she keeps going.
I'm
Oh,
assuming. See, when you said to me that they made the suit and they packed her full of lentils, I was like, it has to be something that comes spilling out.
Oh yeah, the lentils get burst by
I
a kid.
knew it. I knew
Yep.
it.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
the lentils get burst by a kid, and you get the whole. I need to go to the toilet quickly. So she runs to the toilet, gets out of gets her suit on, comes back out of the toilet, and then obviously you get the confusion of the guy comes in and it's like she's in the toilet stall banging away with another guy sort of thing,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay, that's like probably inappropriate for Santa Claus, but so you get all that stuff, and of course you know where it's going. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
This one I loved so much.
It
It
sounds great.
I mean, it's way sillier. It's
Yeah.
silly. It's over the top, but the their chemistry's better. You feel more sorry for her character because she's genuinely poor and has a bit of a shit life, and she's a genuine single mother who's actually struggling, and
Hmm.
when she says, "I've got no money," you believe her because she hasn't. Um, it's good. It's got all the silly tropes that you expect. It's got its huge, um, Miss Doubtfire moments of mistaken thing, and her being kind to people and her cheering up other people. It's like, hey, I'm Santa. She talks to the bully of her daughter, and even though she clearly wants to punch this girl,
Mm.
she doesn't. She's sweet. She's sort of she's sweet to her, and she listens to her, and she talks to her as Santa, of course. It's fun. It's a really, really sweet movie, and this one I highly recommend. I mean, you your mileage on the whole Miss Doubtfire thing that may stretch some people,
I love
but
Missed Outfire, so
exactly for me
I
it was a total like, yeah, I'm in.
yeah.
This was an I'm in movie, and it was really fun and really sweet, and I really liked the Alexandra Breckenridge was really you know really charming, and I was with her all the way in this movie, so it's a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend this one.
Yeah, looks like a lot of fun. I'm gonna check this one out. So I watched Predator Badlands. Uh, we've got to the negative part of the podcast. Um, so Predator Badlands, Dan Trachtenberg.
Honestly, I think I was going to give this a miss
So
because
was I, but
I haven't seen the last one.
I was gonna give it a miss, but there was a copy available. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, fine. It's Sunday. I need to watch something. Basically, Deathstalker I watched about 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
immediately when I could. And then yesterday I was like, oh god, I need another movie. I guess that'll do. Should have gone with The Running Man, but never mind. I could do that next time though. That's the thing. I've got options for later.
Yeah.
So Dan Trachtenberg, returning as director. I personally really enjoyed Prey for the most part.
Yeah.
There were bits, there's bits, but
I've heard
overall,
very mixed about it,
I enjoyed
but
it. I
I've
quite
kind of
enjoyed it.
I just I've not exactly avoided it as such, but I just haven't bothered.
Mm. Yeah, fair enough.
You know.
I mean, it was, I believe, a Fox movie that Disney kind of inherited, or it was way into
Right.
production. Prey by the time
Yeah.
Disney acquired Fox.
Excuse me.
So yeah, I really enjoyed Prey. I thought it was, I'm I was saying this to a friend yesterday. Like every movie that they've released since Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator,
Yeah.
Prey, and
Yeah.
Badlands. Every subsequent movie, I have just come to the conclusion that much like Jaws, this was a one and done. Predator
Yeah.
was great, and you should have just stopped and not continued.
The thing is, though, is that would be true if it wasn't for the case that there's other media that's really good. There are Predator comics and books that are really good.
So
I wish they'd have
I'm gonna get to
done
books.
that.
I'm gonna get to books in a minute because that's an interesting point you've raised that I think is key to this.
Hmm.
But I liked Prey for what it was. I thought, it's at least it's something different. They've got, it's in a period setting. It was interesting. I liked it a lot. So Badlands, as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks terrible. Like, just looks awful. I hate it. But I was like, well, let's give it a go. Why not? maybe the CG isn't as bad as it looked in the trailer. You know, sometimes the trailer's unfinished. You go
Hmm.
watch the whole movie. So I thought I'd give it a go. So central to the plot is Deck, who is a young Yautja. Is that what they call them?
Yeah.
I call
Yeah.
them predators because that's
Yep.
the age I am. They were just predators. But he's the on Yautja Prime. He's the runt of a litter basically. So he's smaller than the rest of the predators. And we kind of open the movie seeing him fighting his brother. And you realize that he's basically his brother's trying to kind of be like, you know, you need to be stronger, you need to be better, and you know you're not good enough. And but we see immediately that Deck is you know, although he's the runt, he's full of spirit. You know, he's determined to win the approval of his father, who's the clan leader.
Yeah.
His father turns up and is effectively like, right, he's rubbish. He's a rubbish predator. We need to kill him because the Yautja kill their weak, effectively.
Yeah.
In the clan, they're like, if you're weak, you're dead. The runt of the litter's getting killed. Only the strong survive because that makes us the strongest clan. We don't have any runts in our clan. His brother intervenes, and basically through devices forces Deck into his ship and sets the ship to take off. Deck basically was planning on killing this apex predator on the planet Jenna, which is apparently the most feared creature throughout the universe. Unkillable, supposedly. And Deck believes if he can kill that and bring back a trophy of that, then his father will accept him. But his father refuses, says you'd never kill it anyway. We're just going to kill you off now. His brother saves him at the cost of his own life. So his brother gets killed by his father. Deck is forced to look on in horror as the ship takes off on autopilot. And the next time he kind of gets knocked around in the ship. And when he finally wakes up, he's, you know, basically entering the atmosphere of Jenna. Something of a crash landing. He basically ejects, and he's then on the planet on this extremely hostile planet where pretty much everything is out to kill you. Like the plant life is deadly, the bugs are deadly, like everything is deadly. He's immediately attacked by
What is it they call them in
tentacle
40K?
vines.
Death worlds, they call them in 40K?
Yeah, I think they call it a death planet
world.
in this. So yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Pretty similar. So he's basically there to prove himself and to bring back a trophy. The trophy now being for acceptance into the clan, but he's fully planning on killing his dad when he arrives. Basically, he's like, I'm going to get revenge. But maybe if I get revenge and bring back a trophy, then the clan will accept me, and then I'll be a Yautja, you know, and accepted. So far so good. We then discover that Wayland Yutani have been on this planet, and we meet Thea. I think it's Thea, played by Ella Fanning. Yes, Thea. Yeah. We meet Thea, who is a damaged Wayland Yutani synthetic. She's been torn in half. And she's currently held by plants, but she basically speaks to the predator in Yautja. I assume that's the name of the language. And says, I can help you. You know, I can help you with these plants because he's about to get killed by these plants. And she says, if you free me, I'll help you. And then so he frees her and she helps him. And then she's like, oh yeah, so I've got a universal. Fucking hell. She's like, I got a universal translator, so we can understand each other. When I speak to you in English, it sounds like Yautja to you. And I'm like, okay.
So she's basically C-3PO to his Chewie.
Well, kind of, but I was like, okay, so it's a universal translator. So what that basically means in this movie is a universal translator. So she speaks in English and he speaks in subtitles because he still speaks in Yautja. And you're like, what? Yeah. It's not really like a universal translator would be translating it both ways, and it just is a really clunky idea. So she speaks English, he speaks Yautja for the movie. It's a minor thing, but it was like whatever. I think this movie will fall into two camps. I think
Right.
people will really enjoy it or really hate it, depending on how they feel about Thea.
Right.
I fucking hated Thea. She is fucking awful. She is, and nothing. Ella Fanning, fine actress. In fact, she also plays
Yeah.
Tessa, who is another synthetic, like a twin
Right.
synthetic, an
Yeah.
evil one. She's great. She's great. Thea is the fucking comic relief of the movie. Like every single goddamn thing the Predator does at any moment in the first entire half of this movie, she has some bullshit, unfunny Marvel fucking quip to everything. And it is fucking irritating. I was like, I cannot believe, because I wasn't really sold to begin with. I don't think we need a movie from the Predator's perspective. I don't think the Predators should ever be the good guys. I've read books, and this is where the books differ. I do think it works in book form. I've read books where
Yeah.
Predators are the main characters and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think in a movie it really works. I didn't need to see it. It's like having Jaws, but from the perspective of the shark. I'm like, really? You know, like I don't need that. Or aliens
not,
from the perspective of the alien. Like, no.
I don't really have a problem with having a predator as the main character, but you have to have him within those sort of realms of, well, he's a predator, so his whole purpose is just to kill things.
Yeah, and they kind of try that, kind of. Um, like and at first I was like, okay, they've done that quite well, where she convinces him, because he's like, I don't need help. Like, I'm here to kill this apex predator.
Yeah.
By myself. And there was quite a nice line there where Thea says, well, but you use a sword and you use technology and stuff, right? And he's like, yes, I use tools. And she's like, well, I'm not human. I'm a android. I'm a tool. So I'm just a tool. I'm not a person helping you. I'm a tool like your other tools. And that's kind of how he accepts her and kind of straps her to his back. And they kind of, she basically says, I can help you track down this apex predator. So fine. I think if you can get behind that, it'll be fine. I thought she was so irritating and so unfunny with every single line she said. Like, you know, that typical Marvel humor that I hate, where they undercut everything with some stupid quip. That was her for the entire first half of the movie. It drove me crazy. I almost turned it off.
Wow.
It was so annoying to me. So personally, I mean,
Yeah.
I get a lot of people seem to like it. A lot of my friends seem to like it. So I'm like, cool. If you're down with that kind of humor stuff, it probably works. For me, it did not work at all. I found it really irritating.
Well, the thing is that humor, there's a balance to it.
There is absolutely a balance to it.
You get the balance to it right, and you've got the first, even the third
Guardians.
The Guardians movie.
Yeah.
Got a really good balance with that. That they do the whole, you know.
This is more
there are a whole lot of things happening in it, and there, you know, but yeah, I can.
This is more Thor: Love and Thunder or whatever, you know. It's kind of that realm of silliness for me, anyway. But I will say the second half picked up. The second half definitely picked up when Wayland Yutani proper turn up. Dek gets separated from Thea, and Thea gets basically decommissioned, and they're gonna get rid of her. So then we get Dek on his own again, and the movie started picking up for me again. Well, no, and also when he reunites with Thea, she's way less annoying at that point, like,
right?
Because then we're getting into the actual kind of plot, I guess. She's going up against Tessa, the other synthetic like her, and you know, she's kind of breaking her programming and going against everything to kind of help Dek, and Dek's going against what he believes to help her because he decides to come back and rescue her and whatever. That stuff much better. I liked that everything Dek learns in the first half of the movie he ends up using in the second half.
Okay.
She kind of says to him, you know, you can't the reason everyone dies on this planet is because they're fighting the planet. And she's like, you need to use nature to your advantage. You need to understand nature and use nature itself rather than fighting with it. You need to work with it, and that's kind of what he does in the second half. Thought that was quite nice. The plot goes from there. There is the creature that I forget the name of, the unkillable apex predator has a baby because Disney needs their little cute creature that they have in every
I did hear that it's got its Grogu.
It's got its baby Yoda. Oh boy, does it. So she's in this cute little thing, and you know, it's like they've done this so many times now. I'm like, stop with this trope. It worked for Grogu, right? It worked the first time, but it's getting really worn and tired now. Like every movie, they have to have their toy that they're gonna sell. The unkillable creature's kind of cool. It kind of regenerates and stuff, so it's literally unkillable for the most part. But yeah, I thought the movie picked up when they get captured by Weyland-Yutani, and then it's him versus Weyland-Yutani. Slightly spoilery, but I really appreciated that the xenomorph is not in this fucking movie at all. Good. I thought they wouldn't be that restrained. But they were. I appreciated that. It is a Predator story.
Oh, I mean, well, they're gonna.
Of course, there's Weyland-Yutani's in this. Of course, they're gonna do it. But I was like, at least they're gonna give it some time, I guess.
And this is done well enough that they're gonna carry on
for sure. And I think most people liked it. I think I'm in.
I think
I'm in the minority here, and I fully accept that. I don't know how well I enjoy a Predator movie told from a Predator's perspective, personally. And I thought Thea, for the first half of the movie, was so annoying. Really annoyed me. To the point I almost switched it off. If I wasn't doing this show, I wouldn't have continued past the first half. But it did get better in the second half. When he's fighting the synthetics, you kind of feel like they were like, well, we can't make this an 18, because if it was an 18, then we won't get enough kids to watch it. So they're like, now that it's synthetics, we can see the Predator actually act like a predator. You're like, okay.
It's the old cartoon series thing where it's like,
they're robots. It's fine.
Destroy as many robots as you like. They don't matter.
No, that's what they do in the second half of this movie, and the movie gets better for it. But it is like, why weren't they just people? That would have been way more cool, you know?
Yeah.
But fine, they're synthetics. The second half is better, but overall, I can't recommend this one. I thought Prey was a far better film than this.
I do have a weird sort of dislike of the weapons they've given him. Why are they all like lightsabers and shit?
So he loses a lot of the weapons in the ship because he ejects. Yeah. So what he's got is a sword, and he has. And I don't think he ever really uses it, or not very much. But there's
like a bow.
The bow is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So it's a laser bow.
Yeah.
Where the string is apparently laser, and then when you pull it back, it forms a laser arrow, and then it shoots the laser arrow. I'm like, what is this? Is this again? It's Saturday morning cartoons. Am I watching He-Man? Like
it's Hank's bow from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, right, exactly that. And I was like, what is this? But you know, I kind of liked that he was without most of his weaponry, and you know, has to kind of get it back, and you know, all of that good stuff. But yeah, I thought Prey was a far better movie. I thought it had better characters, more compelling story than this, to be honest. I thought Deck's story was compelling enough, his need for revenge and whatnot.
You've been more positive about it than I was expecting, to be fair.
I'm trying to be positive. I did not like this movie. No, I'll be honest. I did not like
that. No, but even then, you know,
I've try to be reasonable. Try to be reasonable.
I've seen some reviews of this that really lay into it.
I thought the weirdly, and I guess it's because again, because they're trying to force this Predator into being a protagonist and likable,
Yeah.
I think they've made him look more emotive than a Predator would normally look.
Yeah, he doesn't. He looks weird.
So at the start, him and his brother are there, and I'm like, his brother looks so much cooler. Should have been his brother. Like,
Yeah,
he looks way more like a proper Predator than this one does.
yeah.
But I think, with Deck, they had to try and make him look like a runt, and also,
Derpy looking.
yeah, he does. And God, the CG, weirdly, the CG is like, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's awful with Deck, but all the other Predators look way better.
Yeah.
Like, every other Predator that turns up in this movie, there's only 3, but they all look better. So yeah, I certainly can't recommend it. I would recommend Prey over this, but ultimately, just stop, guys. Just stop. Stick
They are,
with
they
Predator
are
1.
absolutely not going
I
to
know
do
they're
that.
not going to stop. I know.
I mean, I've heard nothing but
They'll
bad
grind it
things
into
really about
dust
all
like,
the alien stuff, and
yeah.
they're gonna do more of that too.
They'll grind it into dust like Star Wars and Aliens and everything
Yep.
else. So it will continue. This was a big miss for me. I really didn't think this was very good at all.
Fair
Oh
enough.
yeah, there is a bloody uh, power loader on steroids that they have a fight with as well, just for
Oh, really?
just for the sake of it. Yeah.
God.
But no, I didn't like this one. Sorry. I think watch Prey instead, or just watch Predator, which is a fine movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one for me is a dud. There are bits. There's bits, and they're all in the second half or the very beginning before he gets to the planet.
Right.
But yeah, wasn't a big fan. I think a lot of the CG is quite ugly. I think the Thea character is awful, and yeah, just so annoying. It's everything I really don't like about that Disney humor
Yeah.
stuff, where it's like we can't take anything seriously for a moment. No.
Yeah.
So it's not for me. Anyway, what else have you watched? Cheer us up.
So I also watched Oh What Fun.
Mm.
So
Yes, Michelle Pfeiffer.
it is indeed. This is an Amazon movie. So we've got
I could tell by the
Michelle.
cast it had some money.
Yes. So you've got Michelle Pfeiffer, Dennis Leary, who plays her husband, Felicity Jones, who plays one of her daughters, Chloe Grace Moretz, which plays another of her daughters, Dominic Caesar, who plays her son, Jason Schwartzman, who plays Felicity Jones's husband, and you've got Eva Longoria, and I was very surprised to see Joan Chen.
Oh.
Very surprised and happy to see Joan Chen because I like Joan Chen. So this we're introduced to Claire, who is a one of those mothers that sort of like prepares for everything, does everything, does all, is maniacal about everything being perfect and you know in its place, and she's doing all this thing, and of course Christmas is coming, so she's got everything ready. They've got all their traditions,
Mm-hmm.
they've got all everything ready to go, and Dennis Leary's her husband, who's like in the basement trying to put this doll's house together and failing miserably, which is quite funny. Um, there is a there's a really funny joke, which is not, it's not really a spoiler. He's having such a hard time trying to put this this like dream doll house together. So he phones a construction company and they turn up and they're trying to put this house together, which I thought was brilliant. So we've got Felicity Jones' character. She's the oldest daughter, and she's got 2 kids. They're sort of she's a writer, and it's her mum sort of seems to sort of kind of dismiss her career, or she thinks that her mother dismisses her career. Uh, her, from her point of view, she spoils the son. He's everything he does is perfect for the mum. It seems. Um, he gets the son gets dumped on. He's bringing his girlfriend to the house for Christmas, but she dumps him before, so he's sort of all miserable and upset. And then Chloe Grace Moretz's character is every year she brings home a different girlfriend, So she's got this latest girlfriend that she's brought home that everybody's had to sort of like try and be enthusiastic about, while trying to sort of like not point out that last year it was a different one. The year before it was a different girlfriend. The year before it was and of course they're showing pictures to this girlfriend. It's like, who's that? Oh, that's her last girlfriend. You get all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
Joan Chen is the neighbor across the road, who has this sort of perfect family who are singing a cappella sort of cringy Christmas songs, which is like really well done, but also like, oh god, please don't do it, sing it that way. But anyway, so obviously she's competitive with her, and she turns up at one point and says, "Hey, I thought you were doing this decorations this year," and she's like, "No, I wasn't doing it." He says, "Well, I haven't thought about it yet. Maybe you'll do it later." Of course, the door shuts, and she's like, "Get into the garage, get all the decorations out. We need to put them all up, all that sort of stuff, right?" So there is this sort of Oprah show sort of type thing. This sort of
Right.
that sort of called Zazie Timms, played by Eva Longoria, who has this competition where you can nominate your mum or someone who you love, who does everything for Christmas and does all that sort of stuff for you, but you want her to have a good time with us, and we'll treat them and all that sort of stuff. And of course, so Claire is like, I want everybody to sort of nominate me. She wants to be on this show. She wants to have this sort of experience because she
Sure.
watches this show all the time, and she uses all the recipes that's on this show and all that sort of stuff. But of course, everybody's too busy to sort of do that for her, so she doesn't that get that. So there's this sort of like ongoing, right, like Doug, the Jason Schwartzman character. He spends all of his time desperately trying to be loved by the brothers and the sisters, because he's like, they're cool people and I want to be like them, and of course they dismiss him as he's to them he's like a nerd, and he tries too hard to sort of fit in with them, and it doesn't work, because you get all those sort of like
Mm.
he's like going up to Chloe Grace Moretz's character and going, oh, hey, I hear you got a camera. I used to be a shutterbug myself. And you're like, oh, dude, no, stop, please. So you get all those sorts of things. Well, Michelle Pfeiffer's, Claire's got she's got these tickets for this dance show that, for everybody. So she, gives them those tickets. They're all getting ready to go. It's all chaos, and in a sort of Home Alone thing, she is trying to find a present for get this thing for her neighbor and stuff, and she's ends up getting missed. So they all bugger off to this show and leave her at home alone.
Mm.
So of course they don't notice until the show starts, and they're halfway through the show before they notice that the mum's not with them. Uh, Claire decides, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." So she decides she's going to get in the car, and she's going to drive to California. They're in like Austin or something. They're somewhere in Texas, right?
Mm.
That she's going to drive to California to be on the show. She's going to get there. She's going to whatever it is. She's just going to get there. So off she drives. Everybody comes home. Mum's not there. Like everything's the decorate the inflatable decorations are all down in the front yard. All the no trace of her. So they they like phone the police, and they're like, the police are like, yeah, we hear this a lot. If she's not back by New Year's, like, call us
Right. Yeah.
there. So of course, she has little adventures while she's traveling. Her car gets towed, and she ends up trying to get in, having this room with sharing a room with this delivery driver, and it all goes wrong. And meanwhile, they're trying to sort of find their mum, and she gets to California, and she blags, you know, getting in to this show, and of course they ask her who nominated her, and she says no one. I just basically got her, and she swears on telly. So
Right.
of course, she get there's an initial sort of like, she thinks she's in trouble, but she's not actually in trouble. She's gonna be their next project, sort of thing.
Mm.
And I won't sort of spoil anything else, but you get the sort of the Christmassy gist with this one. Um, this one, clearly has had a lot more money spent on it,
Oh
as you
yeah.
said, with the cast. It's got a great cast. Dennis Leary, I was happy to see as well. I've always had a soft spot for Dennis Leary, and I think he's actually a really good actor. He's been in so you wouldn't think it, and kind of he mostly sort of plays himself really anyway, but it sort of works for the character he's playing. He is they've all got their problems and stuff, but they're all like lovely people, and
Yeah.
this um you get the whole talking to mum and saying, "Oh, yeah, I think I'm overlooked," and her realizing that she's made mistakes as well, and it's got all those sorts of stuff in it, this is really good as well. I really enjoyed this one.
Mm.
There are
It
some,
sounds fun.
yeah, in most Christmas movies, there are some real cringe moments in it. With
That's part
the
of the
Jason,
that's part of the charm.
yeah, there's a, but there has to be a good balance. So I think that's
Yes,
the problem
100%.
with the first movie, the Lisa Silverstone one. The cringe movie moments were not outbalanced by good moments.
Sure.
There are certain bits where you go, okay, you've got the cringe, now you've got to tip it back. You've got to tip those scales back, and if you don't manage that, then you lose me. They did that really well in this, and yeah, it's really fun. There's some sort of there obviously that you can see all the bits coming, like the son has always had a crush on the neighbor and one of the neighbor kids, and obviously they meet in a bar, and all you get all those sorts of bits and pieces, and they're all really well done, and they're all the even though the Jason Schwartzman's character is cringy, he's actually a nice guy. So you kind of
Hmm.
he's balanced enough that you don't want to throttle him too much. There were a couple of moments where you're like, oh dude, you've got to stop, but it works. It's fine because they're balanced by the good bits. Um, the my geography's pretty bad, right? But
Yeah, my it's not my strong suit either.
I know that you cannot drive from fucking Austin to California in like a couple of hours. It's like I
America's
think
pretty big, yeah.
yeah, I think it's like 24 hours
Mhm.
that journey would take you if you're driving it, and she does it like pretty quickly. But it's that's a small sort of niggle that it's a
Sure.
pointless niggle. It's a pointless niggle that just made me sort of chuckle myself. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This and the last one are so good. So I would put on a double bill. They're really fun, really,
Oh,
really,
that's
really
great.
enjoyable. I highly recommend this one as a good old Christmas movie. Michelle Pfeiffer's great as this sort of is the sort of I would say put upon mother, but they do a very good job of showing that even though she's sort of put upon, she's also is difficult too. She has her
Sure.
flaws. She's not perfect. She's overlooking things all the time, and she's actually this whole thing about her going to this competition is actually quite a selfish thing. But from
Mm,
her, the way she sees it is like this is the only thing she's asked for. For so
sure.
but
So you guys, that's good. So yeah, you can understand why she feels that way, but to everyone else, it's yeah. Nice.
exactly. So yeah, it's really good fun. I really liked it. Highly
Ah,
recommend. Oh, what fun!
cool. Well, I believe you have one more Christmas movie.
I do. So
Or
Tinsel
two?
Town.
One. Two?
One
One?
more. Yeah,
One more, yeah. Tinsel
yeah. I've
Town.
done. Yeah, one more. Tinsel Town. So this is a Sky um, movie,
Mm.
and it's Kiefer Sutherland,
Yes.
and we've got a whole host of sort of British bit actors. So you've got Catherine Ryan, uh, Milwan Rizwan, uh, Asim Chowdhury, Jason Manford, um, and um, most importantly, who weirdly isn't on the top list of this that I'm looking at
Mm.
cast, um, Derek Jacobi,
Oh,
who
love
fucking
Derek
class.
Jacobi.
classes the joint up every time he's on screen.
He's
Um,
such a good actor.
yeah. So in this, we've got Kiefer Sutherland's Bradley Mack, who is a action hero who doesn't do his own stunts and is a real prick. And he's currently doing, oh, what is the name of the movie he's doing? It's like number 7 or something.
Right.
I can't remember what it is. It's like what is it? I can't remember what it is, but it's whatever it is. It's like you know, the driver 7 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing. And you know, he doesn't remember anybody's name. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody's on set, and he's just a general douchebag. He's got a daughter in England that he doesn't really see very often. He's got an ex-wife played by oh, what's her name? Alice Eve,
Hmm.
uh, who's got her new partner in, you know. So um, Catherine Ryan plays his agent, and she's kind of had enough of him. Uh, you know, she basically says, "Hey, why don't you do this? Do some theatre. You can do some theatre in England.
Mm.
Well, you know, it'll be good for your image and that sort of thing." So of course he's like, "I don't really want to do it, but fine. I'll go." So he goes to he gets shipped off to England, where he discovers that um his his agent has screwed him over. She hates him, and she's had enough of him. So she signed him up to basically a contract that he can't get out of, to not be in a theatre play. I think he thinks he's doing Hamlet in the Globe.
Mm.
He's actually doing is he's playing Buttons in Cinderella
Right.
in a small Yorkshire town.
Yeah.
But of course, the contract they've got him in means that if he fails, he has to pay like millions of dollars. So of course, you know, so it's that whole sort of shit actor, well, yeah, washed up actor trying to
Washed
sort of,
up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, fit into into British panto with, you know,
It's an interesting
from
setup.
from my knowledge, most Americans have no clue about British panto. So
It's quite a uniquely British thing,
yeah,
indeed.
so he's completely baffled by it. And oh, of course,
Yes.
we've got Mira Sayal's in it as well. She's the sort of the panto director, which is quite funny. And also we've got weirdly in it for me is the love interest sort of thing is Rebel Wilson.
Mm.
So you know we've got sort of parallels going on. He's got his daughter that he sort of doesn't see. She's got a daughter that she does see all the time, but and her her ex partner is Danny Dyer, who's on
Oh. Okay.
bad, yeah. So he's on sort of bad guy duty for this one. Um, weirdly, I've seen Rebel Wilson in a few things, but for me, she's almost like the equivalent of Jack Black. She does a lot of over the top stuff that's like very
Mm.
silly. And I know Jack Black has been in some serious stuff that's worked. I mean, I really like Jack Black in um, Kong. I think
Yeah.
he's really
I
good.
think he was the perfect casting for that character. If you were
Yeah,
going to
he can.
remake it, he's like, yeah, I can see him playing Denim.
Yeah, he can do straight pretty well
Yeah.
actually. Um, I'm not so convinced by Rebel Wilson being
Okay.
sort of, you know,
I don't think I've seen her in much actually, but
I mean,
I'm aware of her. Yeah.
she's doing a Yorkshire accent, which is quite funny because it sounds like um it sounded to me like she's doing an impression of Jodie Whittaker,
Oh. Okay.
which is quite funny. I kept waiting for the accent to drop, and I kept waiting for her to do something really silly, but she doesn't. She's
Mm.
actually playing it straight, and I don't think I've ever seen her play a normal character before. So it was it was a bit weird, just sort of waiting for it to drop, you know, and it doesn't. So it's like, okay, that's fine. I'll just have to try and not see her as
Mm.
this wacky character because she's not a wacky character. She's just like a nice mum in this. Um, Kiefer Sutherland is good as the there's some really there's some really funny moments in this, but only if you know Keith Sutherland
Sure. I
and you
imagine
know,
I feel like if you're watching this movie, you probably do, but
yeah.
maybe I'm
Well,
wrong.
Keith Sutherland has been known to be drunk and disorderly from time to time
Yeah.
in the past. He's had a bit of a history, and he does similar things on this movie, and he
Well, I was
fair
going to
play
say
to
it
him.
kind of feels like the or to a lesser degree, but it kind of feels like JCVD, you know, where you know
Yeah,
you've got an actor playing a more uh exaggerated version of themselves,
yeah,
and then kind of looking back at like, well, actually, I'm just a bit of a loser and a a normal guy,
yeah,
really, you know.
yeah, and
Um,
he does that really well.
hmm.
You know, obviously there he's gonna he makes mistakes. He gets he supposed to do he's supposed to be giving out presents for this sort of like this fate sort of thing, and of course he's drunk and he smashes things up and he the dick and gets arrested and stuff, and there's this sort of trial. You get this like this trial and which is initially you're like, what is going on? Why are they doing? And then they do make a sort of joke about it. They're like, you were drunk and disorderly. You're not going to prison for that. You're just going to get a fine. So
Yeah,
you do,
yeah, yeah.
because of course you know they're all at the sort of this sort of court thing, like acting like he's being, you know,
Going down for
oh,
life.
yeah, and of course he's not. And initially you're like, this is silly, really stupid. But then they do actually make a joke of it, and you're like, oh no, okay, it was part of that. That was it was fine. Um, I with all the people in it, like I said, like every time Derek Jacobi's on screen, he's like, he works on the front desk of the theatre, and but previously he was a renowned pantomime dame. Him and his partner, who is his partner, has died, and they were this sort of. They started out, you know, he explains that they started out hating each other because they were rival dames, but they got this job where they were working together, and then they sort of fell in love, and they, you know, they became this sort of dame double act, and they ended up just staying here because everybody loved them here.
Mm.
And he, you know, he sort of helps him out, and you know, he stays with him, sort of thing. And like I said, every time he's on screen, he completely classes the movie up. The movie goes up a few notches when he's there. Um, it's okay.
Hmm.
It's not brilliant.
Yeah.
Um, there are moments, you know, there are moments where it kind of shines through, and it works. Some of the stuff with Kiefer Sutherland being, you know, a dick, and you know, you just sort of some watching it, you sort of going, "Wow, that must have been really hard for him to film because that's got to be close to the a bit close to the knuckle there for
Yeah.
him in real life." Um, but he's really cool. He does. I think the worst thing I can say about this movie is it feels like it's trying to be a Richard Curtis film
Okay.
and not really pulling it off,
Mm-hmm.
because you've got, you know, with something like Love Actually, you've got this host of characters that are all sort of they kind of their paths cross and stuff, and you know, some of them are related, but they're all kind of separate stories that all, you know, work really well together.
Mm.
This one, you've got sort of, you know, you've got the Rebel Wilson's character who's her ex is a dickhead, and you know, she's trying to do her best for her daughter. So you've got that story going on. You've got the two leads playing Cinderella and the prince, who are,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're clearly madly in love with each other but don't really see it. That, you know, you've got that, and you've got the Moan Rizwan character who's again, he's the guy who's running around town with all the jobs. He's the guy that drives the car and runs a guest house and sells hot nuts and all that sort. You know, he's running around doing all that sort of stuff. And you've got all these like little sort of things, but they don't come together as well.
Mm.
They're not as cohesive as like as a Richard Curtis movie is. I mean, that's, you know, that's a hard thing to pull off. To be fair,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a high bar.
you know, nobody pulling off something as great as Love Actually is.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know the people that hate that movie, but for me, it's
I think
That's a
even if you're not a
that's
fan of that movie, you can accept that it's a very well made movie.
yeah, it's a brilliant Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Well, for me anyway. So this one it's kind of feels like it's going for that, but I think it does sort of fall a little, well, quite far. It falls short of that. Um, but it's enjoyable enough. I would give it a recommendation. I would say yes, watch it because it is good fun. It's I think I'd like to have seen more of Jason Manford because I really like Jason Manford. I think he's really funny.
Hmm.
That he's one of the ugly. Him and Asim Chowdhury are playing the ugly stepsisters, and they do have some funny jokes. They do rib him, and you get the whole. It's British humor. It's
Yeah.
that of course Kiefer Sutherland doesn't get, which is in real life he does because I'm pretty sure he spent a lot of time over here. Actually, I'm pretty sure he was born here. Um, but those bits work pretty well when there's the sort of culture clashes and the sort of the no he's not being nasty, they're just ribbing you and all that sort of stuff works really well. And this sort of you've got the sweet daughter stuff which works pretty well. So there's enough for me to say yes, it would definitely be a recommend, but it is the lower end of
Hmm.
that. I think of the four movies I've seen, this is definitely above um Merry Xmas.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near as good as the other two. I would recommend Oh What Fun and My Secret Santa over those. And I
Sure.
think, given the four of them, the one I would recommend the most is My Secret Santa because it's so silly and because it it certainly worked for me. I think it would definitely not work for a lot of people, but for me, it was just the right amount of silly and just it worked. The cast
Hmm.
were good enough that I was they allowed me to go with them, and I didn't distrust their chemistry or anything like that. So that one for me would be the height of the four movies. So that would be my biggest recommendation. But Tinseltown's, yeah, it's all right. It's pretty good. It certainly has its moments.
Cool. Well, there we go. Some Christmas movies. I heartily recommend Deathstalker if that's your kind of thing. Um, but I think that's all the movies. So,
Yeah.
on to the news.
Yeah, I guess we start with the really horrific
Rob
news.
Reiner passing, yeah, and
Yeah,
his wife and his son as well. Am I right in thinking that?
I'm not sure about the son, but definitely
Maybe
him
it's
and his
just
wife.
him and his wife. But horrendous. Sounds like a stabbing.
Yep, it sounds like a
Oh
home.
no, just him and his wife. Sorry.
Yeah.
But horrendous. Yeah, and discovered by the daughter. I mean, God,
Hmm.
how
Yeah, and,
horrendous.
and what a fucking great guy, man.
Always seemed like a lovely guy and
Yeah,
very talented. I mean, as an actor, sure, but as a director,
yeah,
my God. I mean, this is Spinal Tap, Stand by
yep,
Me, Princess
yep,
Bride,
yeah. That's.
Misery, A Few Good Men.
I mean,
Like
for me, all you needed to say was Princess
Princess
Bride because
Bride.
that
Yeah.
that
Well,
movie is fucking phenomenal.
I was gonna say. I mean, I know we're in Christmas mode right now, but I was thinking maybe we should review Princess Bride shortly after as a
Yeah,
tribute.
yeah, we can certainly do that. I'd be happy. I mean,
Or
probably
Stand
he's
by
more.
Me, but I'm kind of like Princess Bride is one we both.
Well, there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many good choices. I mean, when Harry
Yeah.
Met Sally, or um, even up to. I mean, I still haven't seen Spinal Tap 2 yet, but
No, I haven't.
I'm going to. And I mean, as an actor, he was in the American version of from Deathstalker Part, wasn't he? When he was a young man,
Yeah.
he was the he was in that, and he was in a lot of really cool things as an actor. So he had an amazing career.
Incredible.
I
Yeah.
think I think at one point he was married to Penny Marshall. Um, he had an amazing life, and it just seems what a fucking horrible way to end it.
Yeah.
Then
Awful.
to be basically murdered by someone. It's
By
just,
someone, presumably. Yeah.
yeah, fucking awful. But, what a fucking body of work to leave behind.
Absolutely. So I mean, obviously, I guess news will continue to come out about this one as time goes on. It sounds like at the moment, robbery homicide are
Yeah.
leading the inquiry. So I'm assuming it's a robbery turned violent, but awful. I mean, awful for it to happen to anyone, and the fact that their
Mhm.
daughter found them is just heartbreaking. But
Yeah.
yeah, an absolutely massive talent. Um, yeah, horrible. Cheer us up, Matt.
Um, well, on the good side, we've got Dick Van Dyke has turned 100.
Yeah, and I loved in the last few weeks he's been joking about how funny it would be if he didn't make it to 100, which I thought this is quite
Yeah,
funny.
like falling at the last hurdle sort of
But
thing.
no, he made it to 100. I saw an
Yes.
interview with him the other day, and he looks like he's in his 80s. The guy
Yeah,
is just
he's
unbelievable.
still pretty spry for a
I mean, he
100-year-old
moves,
dude.
he gets around, and
Yep,
he's
and
got his wits about him. He's funny,
yeah,
he's
he's still
smart.
sharp. Yeah, and
Great,
I mean,
great.
what a fucking career he's had.
Oh, unbelievable career.
I mean, I even like that terrible. Was it Diagnosis Murder? Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I loved that. That was
Diagnosis Murder.
awful, awful show.
It's terrible, but I
But I
really love it.
loved it. Yeah, it's like it was terrible, but I loved it.
But I mean, my absolute favorite is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh
I
yeah,
fucking love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
it's such a good movie.
It's wonderful, and even like in he gets. I think he gets a lot of shit for his accent in Mary Poppins, but I love his accent in
I
Mary Poppins.
like it. Yeah,
As a kid, I never fucking noticed that he
but
wasn't
that's the thing, isn't it?
remotely English. I always thought he
Yeah,
was English
I
for
never
years. I
noticed it.
thought he was English.
Um, no, I love Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, he's great.
Such a good actor and dancer and singer and
Hmm.
just like all round talented human. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, wonderful entertainer.
yeah. Uh, that's mostly it. I would the couple of trailers we could discuss. Uh,
Sure,
so the Street Fighter trailer dropped.
it did. Um, not
I really, really loved it.
I had the opposite reaction. I'm really not sure about it. I mean, it's a very quick trailer. I'll give it. I'll wait and see when we actually get to the movie. It looks like a bunch of cosplayers. I mean, I know they're famous people. I'm like, oh yeah,
It looks like expensive comp players.
yeah. It looks like expensive cosplayers. Like Cody Rhodes decided to cosplay as Guile. Like, okay, um,
Well, the Guile, not Guile, the one that made me sort of go, okay, but he looks great, was 50 Cent as Balrog.
yeah, that
It's like,
I can get behind that as a
it was like,
casting choice.
what a weird choice. But then you look at him and you think, okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that's Balrog.
yeah, kind of.
You've got Jason Momoa as uh, Blanca.
Mm,
Apparently, Blanca's his favorite character. He's been obsessed with, because I
cool.
think he's got to be around our age, hasn't he, Jason Momoa? So he's probably been playing it since we were kids and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought he looks great. You've got Andrew Koji as Ryu. Andrew Koji's great in
Yeah.
that Warrior series. Did you ever
Hmm.
watch the Warrior series?
No.
Really cool. It's sort of based on Bruce Lee's sort of story of what was the oh my god, what was the show? Kung Fu.
Mm.
It's like Bruce Lee's intended version of Kung Fu. So it's set in the 1800s, and he's sort of this Chinese guy in San Francisco. He's really cool in that. Um, he looks great as Ryu. You've got a number of fighters and things that I don't personally know, but I'm assured they fit the thing. The guy playing E Honda, I think, is a Japanese wrestler.
Mm. Yeah, there's
You've
a lot of
got,
wrestlers in this. Roman Reigns is in it. Cody Rhodes is in it. There's a bunch of wrestling people.
yeah, you've got
Um,
David Desmelchin as M Bison. In the
yeah,
okay, again, like he looks great.
he does. I mean, it's weird. Like it feels like. I mean, they've called it Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
we're Street Fighter 2, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not just Street Fighter 2 though. That's I think that's half the problem. Is like it's Street Fighter 2 plus, you know,
all the other ones from later.
Yeah, like World Warrior and like what was the tournament
Oh,
editions and various
blimey! Yeah, I
editions.
was going to say there's so many now that
It's
I
like Super
have
Street
lost.
Fighter,
Yeah,
whatever. They've got like too many characters in this, is my first thought. I'm assuming most of them are just going to be like cameos or quick,
yeah,
bits and fine. But it was like you would have done better to have maybe just stuck with the first Street Fighter 2 lineup and just
yeah.
gone from
I mean,
there.
as long
Feels
as it.
quite packed. Obviously, you're not going to do Street Fighter 1. Barely anyone remembers that game. I played that
No,
game on the Commodore 64, but
yeah, so
but
yeah,
it that was just pretty much Ryu versus Sagat.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I will wait and see more. I thought it felt really goofy, and that's either going to hit or it's going to miss horribly.
That's
And
kind of why I liked it because I thought it did look goofy, but I thought it looked Street Fighter goofy.
I
It looked,
think if it works, it will work. I
yeah.
don't know if it's going to work, but I'm
Right.
willing to give it a try, and I'll wait and see.
Well, we've also got Mortal Kombat 2 coming as well, haven't we? Which
Yes, which looks like a better sequel than
looks
Mortal
like it's
Kombat.
better, and I really enjoyed the first one.
For the most part, yeah. I think the second one looks even better though. It's got
Yeah,
the right tone. It's like
yeah.
Johnny
Well, they made the
Cage
first
is
one. The first one made that mistake of making their own bloody character up. It's like,
Cole or whatever his name was. Yeah, he
yeah,
was
it's like
really annoying.
Mortal Kombat doesn't need new characters. Mortal Kombat has plenty of characters you can pick from. You
Yeah,
really don't need
exactly.
to invent a new one
No.
for it to be your hero.
So
Um,
yeah,
they had in Johnny Cage this time, which yeah, it's Carl Urban, so that's going to be fucking awesome. I
they
think
brought back Kano as well, which makes me happy because he was the
yeah,
best
because
thing about the first one.
he was the best thing in that first one. He was
He was
brilliant.
hilarious.
But yeah, for me, I thought it looked it looked the part,
I'm certainly going to give it a go for
and
sure.
I I'd like to think it couldn't be as bad as the Van Damme one.
It would be bloody hard to be as
You
bad
know,
as the
the
Van
only
Damme one.
let's face it, the only really good thing in that Van Damme one is just Raul Julia chewing the fucking scenery and being
Yeah, his
fucking awesome.
last ever performance, right? What a
Yeah,
shame.
which is cool. It's sort of sad, but
Well, he did
he
it
did
for
it.
his kids,
He
right?
did it for his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it for his kids. So you know, fair play. And he is not a problem in that movie. He's fucking awesome in that
Oh
movie.
no, he's
And
great, and he knows that movie's trash as well.
yeah, he does. And he
Like
still has.
fully, you can see in his performance, he's like giving it his all, and he's
Yeah,
like, "I'm just gonna have to chew the scenery because this film is just
and
trash."
he's got that great. To, the day I turned up was the worst day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday. I
Yeah.
fucking love that line. It's one of the best lines of any movie, and it's I mean, it's wasted on that film, but it's fucking awesome, and you know. So I'm kind of hopeful. I
Oh
like
no,
the look of
I'll
the
wait
film.
and
We'll see how
see.
it goes.
I think it's too short of a trailer to make my mind up about anything. There's no idea of what the plot is going to be, if there is a plot. You know,
Yeah.
I'm hoping it will actually be a Street Fighter tournament. You know,
It certainly looked that way. I mean, they
it
even
did.
have
Yeah, it looked like that. So
they
that
had
would be
at
good.
the end. They've got the breaking the car thing. So
Yeah, I did see that. That was funny.
which is funny. So yeah, I'm hopeful on that one.
I'm
I'm looking forward
certainly
to it.
certainly willing to give it a go.
Uh,
A film I'm not willing to give a go
yeah,
is Supergirl.
no,
It looks
what a fucking
terrible,
atrocious trailer.
awful.
I mean,
And bearing in mind, I wasn't a fan of Superman
no,
either. This
no,
just looks
we
like
both hated
even
Superman.
worse than Superman. So
But
yeah,
the thing is, for me, is they could have already made me a little bit more favourable to this trailer by not opening it with the dog pissing on a picture of Superman.
yeah.
You already fucking pissed me right off putting that in. Like, and they know what they're doing. That's the because that's the response they want, right? They want us to be pissed off that.
That doesn't work with me
But but why is
because
that a good
I
thing?
just won't watch your film.
No, I'm not going to watch
So
it.
like it's that kind of I think that day is past. I think companies need to realize that
Yep.
the days of oh you'll watch it anyway
Yeah.
are long gone.
Yeah,
Like
that's why I'm not going to watch that fucking Predator movie because
sure,
I'm
I
not just going
liked
to watch
Prey,
the
so
fucking.
I was willing to give it a go based on that.
I'm not going to just watch a fucking IP because you've put one out.
100%, and that
Then
is, goes back to the Star Wars thing, right? It's like
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't care anymore. You've
No,
made too much bad, and all of my goodwill is gone. I have no, I'm
and
not going to
annoyingly,
waste my time.
annoyingly, I really like Millie Alcock. I think
Oh,
she's a good
I'm sure she'll be
good
fine in the
actress,
role. Yeah.
and I'm sure she'll do her best in that role.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see it. I
I mean, who knows? Again, maybe another trailer will come out that will look a lot better. Um,
yeah. I mean,
I
there's nothing inherently wrong with making Supergirl damaged. She,
well,
as
in
opposed to
this she witnessed Krypton fall, right?
exactly, as
So,
opposed to Clark, she had at least a childhood in on Krypton, so
hmm. And I think
she's
in the trailer they're saying she saw it fall,
yeah. So
so
she
she's got
knows enough to
PTSD
miss
and
it,
stuff, and
which is not
that's compelling.
that's the only angle on this that makes me think, okay, that could work and be quite good. I'm not sure I trust them enough to do it well.
I didn't like the tone of the trailer,
No,
or the
no,
look of the trailer.
as everybody
Beyond,
else, as everybody's pointed out, it just looked like Guardians,
yep,
and it's
yep,
not even directed by bloody Gunn. It's
no,
directed by Craig Gillespie. I don't know what he, not sure what he'd previously
I
done.
have no idea. No.
Uh, we did I Tonya. I liked I Tonya.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
he did that remake of Fright Night with
right.
what's his name? Um,
Isn't that David
Colin
Tennant?
Farrell. Colin Farrell. Yes, yeah, with David Tennant. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was. I own that movie. I bought it. It's
yeah.
fucking awful. It's that movie is not good. But I Tonya's great. I like that.
Yeah, 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 very good.
But yeah, it just looked like a bad um Guardians knockoff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
So,
superheroed out anyway, as I always say, but yeah,
well,
it's not for
there's
me.
with the right superhero movie, I
Well,
will
same
watch.
with for the right superhero movie,
I
I'm on
mean,
board, but
I wanted to like the Superman movie. I wanted it to be a fucking good Superman movie. It's not. It's fucking atrocious.
I was indifferent, but you know, I
I
thought
mean,
it would make for an interesting review, basically.
we get a brief flash of Lobo, which I thought, you know,
I mean he's born to play
well,
that character,
yeah, he totally is.
you
I
know.
mean, the dude practically is a dead ringer
Well, that was kind of the joke
Lobo,
when he
isn't
was
he?
Aquaman. Everyone was like, he
Yeah,
just looks like
exactly.
Lobo, you
Why is
know.
he? Yeah, why is he Aquaman? He doesn't look like almost any version of Aquaman there's ever been. So yeah, this one I'm gonna give a fucking miss. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, I did see a trailer for a film called Dust Bunny,
Mm,
which I thought looked really cool. It's Mads Mikkelsen,
excellent.
and it's about a little girl who, um, well, she says her parents were killed by the monster that lives under her bed,
Okay.
uh, and it looks like Mikkelsen is like an ex hitman who's her neighbor, who she goes to sort of kill them. She goes to pay him to kill the monsters.
Right.
Now it looks like it could be that her parents were killed by just people, and she just doesn't see it that way.
Sure.
But it could be that there are genuine monsters. You know, we don't know. Sigourney Weaver's also in it, and it's directed by Brian Fuller, who I got mostly good things to say about Brian Fuller. For instance, he did Pushing Daisies, which I love, and we'll talk about that in a minute because there's a thing about that too. He worked on Voyager. He did Hannibal, the TV series, which
Hmm.
for me fell off, but for the first sort of season or so was fucking awesome. I really liked that. The way it began, and Mads Mikkelsen was really good Hannibal actually.
Yeah.
Um, he did Wonderfalls, Dead Like Me, so mostly good stuff. However, oh, he did that. Did you ever see the Mockingbird Lane pilot,
No, I didn't actually.
which had it had oh, was Eddie Izzard was Grandpa,
That's fine casting.
and Terry O'Connell was Herman. Portia de Rossi was
Yeah,
Lily.
I never did see that.
Do you know what? They tried to ground it a bit more. They tried to make it a
You
bit more
cannot
serious.
ground the monsters.
Well, yeah.
That's like, you're just defeating the entire point there.
They sort of Grandpa. They sort of made a bit of a horn dog, a bit sort of bit dodgy. But I actually quite liked it. I thought it was a pretty good
Okay.
pilot. It did, but it did no. Nobody liked it. It didn't get picked up. But as a weird curiosity, I would
Mm.
say give Mockingbird Lane a go because it's interesting.
It's one I
Um,
keep forgetting happened. You know,
yeah,
I
yeah. I
keep
think
forgetting that it even
most people
happened.
just completely bypass.
Yeah.
You know, it was very sort of here today, gone tomorrow. Um, he worked on American Gods, which again started well, finished fucking
Started
terribly.
very well, actually. Yeah.
Um, and for me, the worst thing he worked on fucking Discovery, Star Trek Discovery. So there's that.
That's unfortunate.
That's the only unfortunate thing. But I thought the trailer for this looked really fun
Mm.
and really interesting. So I'm that's a movie I'm really looking forward to going. As a sort of a side thing from that, Brian
Mm.
Filler, they were talking about pushing daisies, and they were talking that everybody's on board, and it looks like there might be a chance that there's a third season coming, which I kind of have to. I'm in two camps about. It's a case of I'd love to see another season of Pushing Daisies because it was such a whimsical, weird, brilliant series. Did you ever see Pushing Daisies?
No.
Do you know what it's about?
No. Death,
Okay.
presumably.
So okay, so it's a weird one to explain. So Lee Pace plays Ned, um, and Anna Farrell plays Chuck or Charlotte Chuck, and so Lee Pace is a pieman. He makes these wonderful pies. Um, but most importantly, he has the power that if he touches someone who's died, they come back to life.
Okay.
But if he touches them again, they die permanently. He cannot bring them back.
Oh, okay.
So there is a brief. He has this, um, all of the ingredients from the pies that he makes are all rotten fruit that when he touches, they become good again. So he makes these pies that and there's this sort of now, what the weirdness starts when it starts becoming a sort of like a detective show.
Right.
So it's like a weird detective show. So you've got Chi McBride, who's Emerson Codd, who's this sort of detective, and his next door neighbor Chuck. They sort of grew up together, and he's always loved her and stuff. She gets murdered, um, and he touches her to bring her back. And so the basically the overarching premise of the show is they solve murders and things, and they sort of like
But he
have
can
like,
never touch her.
but they love, yeah, exactly, they love each other, but he can never touch her again,
Is
otherwise
she
she'll
is
die.
she aware of this or
Yes,
right,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. They explain it to him, so they come up with like ingenious ways that they can hold hands and things and touch and like they can kiss each other through
Glass or something.
cling film and stuff like that. They come up with inventive things, and you've also got um, uh, Kristen Chenoweth as Olive Snook, who works in the shop, and she loves Chuck. Not Chuck, she loves Ned, but of course Ned only has highs for Chuck. And it's such a sweet, weird series, and it got cancelled after 2 seasons, like too soon. But they did. Um, they were basically told, I think, that they were getting cancelled, so they did sort of
Wrap it.
manage. They did sort of manage to wrap it, but it always felt like they could definitely do more sort of thing, with it. And I think they did a comic to sort of properly end it, I think, or a book
Mm.
to end it.
It's
I've
the
not
way of
read
many
that.
cancelled shows. The
Yeah,
comic.
I've not read it, but I kind of wanted to. But so there's part of me that is like, oh, this could be fucking cool if everybody's on board, all the original cast is on board to do it, and he's wants to do it. This could be good, but it could also be a fucking disaster, and it might be a case of no, maybe they should have left it alone. So it's a it's a genuine sort of tear for me. It's like, oh, this could be good, but it could be fucking atrocious. So my wife was like, I watched it with my wife. She loved the show as well. She was immediately like, no, don't touch it,
Yeah,
leave it
just leave
alone.
it. Yeah, yeah.
She's not going to touch it. She's like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna leave it. But for me, I'm like, oh, but it was so good, and it could be good.
They might
So
ruin it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
Well, we'll wait and see.
there's,
But
I mean, it might not even happen yet, but
yeah,
the thing's there, so we'll see.
yeah, cool.
That's basically it, I think.
What are we doing next week?
We are doing Miracle on 34th Street.
Which one?
We are doing I would say the original,
Okay, cool.
but I subsequently found that there are about 3 or 4 versions of this.
Okay, well, let's go with which. When we're saying the original,
Yeah, hang on. Let me just bring up
but don't worry, we can.
the the one with Maureen O'Hara. So the 1947 version
Yeah.
with Maureen O'Hara and Edmund Gwynn.
Okie doke. We will be back next week with Miracle on I forget the number every time Street.
34th.
Thank
I
you.
always forget
I
the number as
always forget the fucking number. I need it written down. Otherwise, I always forget the number.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm looking forward to it. We will be back then with that movie. Yeah. Thank you for listening, everybody. We will catch you next time.